This video is just me sharing one technique, one method of teaching the time to young children. Time is very abstract and difficult for young children in general, not just because of their age, but their stage of development. This is quite out there for them. And then it's made even more out there by putting numbers in a circle when they've only just got used to the idea of numbers being in a line. So this is my method. Give it a go. Let me know if it helps. If not, pop it in the bin. There's loads of other ways of teaching time. This is just one way. And I think to help children, you start off by talking about number lines. They will be used to number lines from nursery and reception. And so you would put the numbers 1 to 12 on post-it notes in a long line. And then draw an arrow and say that when we're talking about the time, we call this a hand. And so if the hand was pointing at number 3 on our number line, it would be 3 o'clock. And again, explain that we use the language o'clock. We don't say 3 hours, we say 3 o'clock. So if my hand is pointing to this number, what time would it be? 6 o'clock. And there are a few benefits to this. One, your child will get it straight away, and that will help build their confidence because it's a number line, it's not a circle, it's much easier. And the second reason introducing this method works is when you go into learning half past, it's much easier for children to understand that when can you see that there? Maybe we'll do this one. When the hand is halfway between the 5 and the 6, it's halfway past the 5 to 6, half past 5. That's much easier than them having to remember that the number 6 means half past. They will need to learn that eventually, but I'm just pointing out that this method works well, not just with the basics, the starting of o'clock time, but also with half past. So once you've done it like this, you will then rearrange your post-it notes into a circle, into a clock formation, and you'll talk about how when it gets to 12, you go back round to 1. So it'll look like this. Okay, so it doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to take the numbers on the post-it notes in a line and put them in a circular formation. And that now everything still remains the same. We're just reading going round in circles. And so for the time being, just stick with your hour hand. Keep reminding them that this arrow is called a hand, and then you can point it like you would. What time is it now? It's pointing to the 3. Is it 3 hours? We would say it's 3 o'clock. And you would keep on going on round like that. And I find just doing that, teaching it as a number line, then in a circle, doing it as post-it notes, they can write out the numbers on the post-it notes. That will also be good practice for them, will really, really help. The other thing that I would really, really keep doing when you're teaching time is anything that helps with the concept of length of time. So talking about seconds, minutes, and hours, which activities take seconds, minutes, and hours. So when they're brushing their teeth, be like, which one is this? Is this a seconds, minutes, or hours? When going to sleep or going to school is an hours one, and then seconds is jumping or drinking or opening a door. So putting everyday actions to those lengths of time seems really obvious to us, but we forget that we were actively taught that, we had to learn that. And that concept of time, looking at calendars, using words about what happened yesterday and tomorrow, looking at weather and using something concrete to link what happened yesterday and today really, really helps. So yeah, give this method a try. Let me know if it works for you. Keep doing time at home. Time is really challenging to teach in primary schools because some children have watches and were introduced to learning the time from a very early age, maybe because they've got older siblings or maybe because their parents have actively done it. And then there are some other children that might, have definitely taught 10-year-olds that really just don't know the first thing about time. And so when you're trying to do a lesson in terms of diversifying the lesson so that it works for a range of abilities with time is very, very difficult. And for that reason, I think it's one of the areas that isn't taught particularly well. Just it is challenging to cover so many different, when some children don't know o'clock and other children are on 24-hour digital clocks. Don't move on to digital 24-hour clocks, obviously, until you've got analog clocks, until they've got this concept going. Don't overwhelm them too much with it. They will get there. It's a really good skill that will help you in the long run, the sooner they can get it. And I hope that helps. Let me know how you get on, and I'll be back with more videos soon.